Hello. Today we have Amalia Camateros with us, and she's joining us for our mindful reflections and inspirations. Thank you so much, Amalia, for being with us. I had the pleasure of meeting Amalia during a retreat. That was the first time, and she absolutely blew me away with her teachings and all the experiences that we did with the dance, and it was amazing. And it left such a lasting impression on me. And I was like, I have got to talk to this woman. so I'm very honored that you decided to allow me to speak with you today. So
Absolutely.
could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Well, as you know, my name is Amalia Camateros. Hello, everybody. And I am originally from Australia and started my healing path at a very young age, like a lot of us do and have to, as we have to survive in our families and how we're being brought up and circumstances. And so I had a very early upbringing with Mother Nature as a teacher and a guide for me, a solace, a greater mother to go to feel loved and accepted unconditionally. And then, was always interested in the path of healing. I've always had that heart, like many of us do. We all come in with that feeling in our heart to want to heal, to want to do good, be good, do something of benefit to the world. And when I became an adult, a young adult, I went to naturopathic school, which is, I believe, what you call in America holistic schooling or a holistic doctor. Okay. So I became a naturopath doctor, and I had a clinic with 14 practitioners.
Wow.
And I also at that time worked for a very famous band. Some of you out there will probably know the band called In Excess. Famous Australian band, rock band, and I was their massage therapist and healer in the height of their career.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it was great. And then I had this calling from Sedona, and Sedona, Arizona, is one of those kind of twilight places that calls people. It just calls people through dreams and through visions. People out of the blue see the red rocks in their mind and have to go to this place. Well, I had one of those experiences. Sedona called me here to do a certain type of work, or obviously calling me here to become more of who I am as well. But that's where I started to work more with the psycho-shamanic healing, which means bridging psychology and emotional healing with the wisdom of the earth, with what we call shamanic healing work.
Okay.
So that's where I've coined the term psycho-shamanic.
Okay.
Just means those two genres coming in together. And since then, I've been now drawing through my naturopathic repertoire, my work with that over 18 years in Australia. So I use the wisdom of the body, the knowledge of the wisdom of the body, the functioning of the body and the mind and the chemistry, all in with the psychology and listening to the wisdom of the earth and how it's teaching us to behave, to be and have, to behave, be and have of us.
Oh, I like that. Be and have. I like that. I like that a lot. Good.
Yes. Anyway, so that's where I'm at now. And, I'm always striving to help people, be of service to people, to find their authentic self, find their intrinsic self, the part of themselves that doesn't need to be judged or condemned for any reason, because we all have that inner self that is pure. And that's the place we want to come from more.
Right.
Not as a judgment, but as a returning point, a reset point. Come back to our center.
Right.
Come back to the center point. Come back to the alignment. That's what. So.
Do you find, so I hear that you've now connected all of you kind of put all of the pieces together. That
and I forgot to mention, dance is a big part of that too, as you experience. I'm sorry.
Absolutely, yes. That was
the arena of dance and bringing in the wisdom and the shamanic aspect of understanding how things work through Mother Nature into the dance. So that all comes into that. Thank you. Yeah.
So do you find that it's more impactful, like merging all of those together versus all of the separate pieces? Because you have a lot of, practitioners, even healers, even some of them just deal specifically with, just the science, or, just the mind, or just the body,
Right.
You kind of bring in the holistic approach.
Yes.
So how does that differ? I mean, I feel personally the difference, but like, can you explain how that differs?
Yeah, that's a good question. Very, very, very good question. Well, it's kind of like, I don't know. The first thing I come across is that you have to, when you go shopping, instead of going shopping over to there and then have to go back in your car and then go back to another store, it's like a one-stop shop. One-stop shop. But that's kind of the fun way of looking at it. The more realistic answer would be, by me having more of a holistic approach, whoever comes to me, I can work on the body level to gain their trust, or I can work on the emotional level. I can integrate all of it. I know how the body is the body never lies. The mind can say blah, 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 blah. There's two hemispheres to the brain. They're always, oh, this is right. And the other side of the brain will say, no, it's not, it's wrong. Right. Oh, when you focus on the light, hey, but what about the dark side? Let's get a bit naughty. There's always this good, bad, right, wrong. You don't, you, me. It creates a lot of separation. So by me having all of the gamut there in front of me, I can bring balance to the mind, anchor it in the body, express them with spirit. So, it's like a dance.
Yeah.
This element to join it with that element of the body. Trust the body. It never lies. Trust your body. It never lies. Trust your body. It never lies. No, this is not a glitch, people. I'm telling you.
I know. Let it sink in. Yeah, it is sinking. Yeah.
Everybody. Let it sink in. The mind really, unless you've really focused and honed in and concentrated it through meditation and focus, can beat and lie and bitch and scratch.
Right.
Body doesn't do that. So I help, the mind ground it into the body and then bring the body's experience into the earth, into a greater being. So yes, the holistic approach really, really is, I think, a supreme approach.
Right.
But if you have an earache, you're not going to come to me. Yes, I know how to work through the body with foot reflexology. Or what is it you're not listening to? Maybe you're blocking a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of energy that's blocking your ear.
Right.
But, if there's something mechanical, you go to the ear doctor.
Right. Right. Right.
But if it's emotional and body functioning, then yeah. Does that answer your question?
No, it absolutely does. And it's a great segue into the next one. So when you're talking about the body never lies and connecting with spirit, how can you explain how important it is for us to connect to the source of, like, the negative self-talk or the things that have kind of blocked us in our life?
The causation, yeah?
Right, exactly. That as well as the spirituality. So the root cause.
Okay, first of all, the root cause, okay? Because, we're looking at the source of the problem now, not the source of all no problems.
Okay, right.
We're looking at the one side now, okay? The one side now is the source, the root of the problem. I call it the glitch point.
The glitch point, okay.
Other people may call it the trauma point.
Right.
But, there's certain things that happen, and it might just be a little tap, but the tap at the right point when there's a crack can crack something open. So it's not it may not necessarily be a big shocking thing. It can be just a repetitive thing where, you scratch into the sand, into the rock, more and more each time something happens. And so then when the energy of flow of life comes through, it automatically goes into that groove. It automatically streams into there because there's a deeper groove for it to go in,
Right.
Like our emotions are like water. They say we're made up of 90% 97% water,
Right.
we are a large part of us is emotional. It's a
Mm. So our emotions are like water. I like that.
when the water streams through into that canal, it's going to go down into the deepest crevice.
Mm.
It's not going to go over that and not touch the deepest crevice.
Right.
So
Right.
our emotions.
Mm.
So going back to the source point is important, and I always do like take people back. I always take people back in my sessions with people online when I do online sessions, for example, counseling, shamanic healing counseling.
Mm.
And I always go right back to the glitch point.
Mm.
Always go back to where the parent, what was your relationship with the parents like? What was the pattern? What was the belief system that you designated for yourself, that you believed in yourself? I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. You see? And the next time something happens, that lens is on. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough, or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Add collateral to the next situation. And then the next time it happens, you add more collateral. And in the end, you've got a big bag of heavy stones that weigh you down.
Right. Right.
So, it's important to go back to that seed point. You know, it's like if you plant an apple seed into the ground,
Right.
you cannot expect anything else but an apple tree.
That is true.
You cannot and will not ever have another tree if it's an apple seed. So if you have that glitch point that says something like, I'm here for everybody else, I'm here to help everybody else, not myself, then that's kind of what you continue to do. You know? If you're raised in a family where you're not important or didn't feel valid, you had to help someone else who's always sick in the family, you get to learn quick and smart that you're not here for you. You've got to be here for that person.
Everybody else, right.
And so that grows into a belief. Geez, I'm not here. There's no room for me. You don't even say it. It just becomes like that.
Right.
There's no room for me. That I don't seem to be important. I don't seem to be special.
Right.
I know I'm special, but I don't seem to be. So maybe I'm not.
Right. Right. Yeah. How do we correct that? So you find the glitch or the trauma, and how can a person correct that once you're now aware of it?
I think you need to go back to that point of that child. You need to go back to that point of where that inner child, for example, feels invalid. Which is a very deep wound to feel invalid, right?
Right. Yes.
The word invalid. It's like invalid, right?
Wow. I love how you do these words thing. That's why I love it.
I love it too.
Yes.
I do. I'm a wordsmith. Anyway, so if a child's feeling not important or not given attention or acceptance, basically every child wants to be loved and accepted. That's it. Basically, we all want to be loved and accepted. Hello, right?
Yeah.
When a child's not feeling loved and accepted, it either acts out and becomes a rebel. Am I allowed to use the F word on this show?
It's fine. Yes.
Rebel and says, "Fuck you. I'm going to do it my way. Fuck you." Right? And it becomes a rebel, and acts out, or it becomes the victim. Poor me. See? It becomes one or the other. And along with that comes masks. The inferior mask, I'm better than everybody else, or fuck you, I'm better than you, and it always seeks that position because that's the mask they had to put on for feeling invalid.
Right, and that's the mask. Absolutely.
Mask. And then you've got the inferior mask that comes with the child that has the same feeling of feeling invalid, but took the lower path, not higher, lower, but the other path.
Right.
It's not good enough. Oh, poor me. I'll never be seen. I'll never be able to. I'm just not good enough, right? And so it has the inferior mask. They're both masks from the same thing. They're both masks from the same thing. So it's important to go back there and,
Right.
it's important to have someone to help you go back there too. It's very hard.
exactly. Yeah, cause yes, yeah, you need someone to kind of guide you through that because it's not only just vulnerable, but I mean it's scary, and God only knows. I mean, going back to one of your biggest traumas and not have help out of that could
Yeah, you need it.
just
You need
as
the guides. You
just
do.
exactly, yeah.
So I take people back to that inner child that's feeling unloved or unaccepted,
Hmm.
and then let's just say I'm taking you through that. It'd be
Okay.
easy. Is that okay with you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just say I'm taking you through that process.
Okay.
I'll ask you to go back and find out, where's that little girl? Oh, she's in the bedroom alone. Okay, let's go to her. Let's
Mhm.
go to her, Andrea. You go to her and you go and sit next to her and you really check in to see how she's feeling.
Mm,
And you go there and you check in, and you know that she's got a bright, happy face, but underneath she's feeling
right.
not good. It's not okay, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Say that child's been molested
Right.
again by her daddy, let's just say.
Right.
She has to put on her face because usually by then they already know that that's wrong, you
Right.
know, and that they don't want to bring daddy out into the bad light because they need him to be a good daddy. You know what I mean? So there's
Right.
all that social structure and social strata that goes on there too. And
Right.
so covenant that happens, a
Exactly.
covenant, you know, or
Yeah.
also manipulation of the emotional. Don't say anybody. This is between you and I, you know. So there's
Right.
all this that goes on. But underneath that, there's this little girl who is trapped, can't say anything, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
then I would say to you, Andrea, is it Andrea or Andrea? Andrea.
Andrea, Amalia. Andrea.
Andrea. So Andrea, then I would get you to tell me how she feels. Identify the feelings. Give a
Mhm.
voice to the feelings, you know?
Right.
Draw the feelings out. At least that's the first step. And
Right.
then we have a talk with her.
Okay.
Ask her questions. Have a dialogue with that little girl to ask her questions. What does she need?
Mm.
What did she never get?
Right.
Oh, I never got love, or I never got to be heard. So who, and then I ask you, who's the only one in the universe that could ever hear her right now?
Mm.
There's nobody else in the world or the universe that could ever hear what she needs to say right now or need, because she never got it fulfilled. So it has to be you, right?
Yeah.
You're the only one that's going to truly know what
Mm.
she never got and needs. You're the only one, not even your parents. Not even
Mm.
your parents knew that. So then we work with you as the parents. You know what I mean?
Got
Then
it.
we work with you as the void filler, filling
Mm.
up that void, patching that hole in her boat.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's,
So it's like so I would be healing myself. Like,
yes, yes.
oh,
And of course I'd be guiding, you know, or
yeah.
you know, guiding you. And then there's other ways too, but that's one of the main ways, you know?
Right. Right. Right.
There's no use healing this on the very end result.
Right. Uh-huh.
You've got to pull the tree out by the roots. You can't just clip the leaves and cut the branches off thinking there's not going to be any more growth on that tree.
Right.
You have to
Mm-hmm.
pull the roots out. So that's how I do it.
That's awesome. I've never heard that explained like that before.
Oh,
Yeah, that was awesome. Because I mean, and it adds a whole different layer to it as well. Because it's like, okay, so then you really don't have that codependency on, which a lot of times it can happen between a client and their therapist. You know, it's like, oh well, they saved me, they helped me. But if you're guiding a person through them saving themselves, that adds a whole other empowerment to it.
that's where the teacher comes in. Like
Yeah.
every true therapist or healer,
Okay.
holistic, is a teacher. They're an educator.
Mm-hmm.
Very different to
That is.
orthodox medicine that gives you a pill,
Right.
pretty much saying, shut up, there's nothing we can do about it, just shut up, take your pill, and that's it. And then it becomes a whole big snowball story after that. And I'm like, I don't even go there because I'm very upset.
Right. Don't feel anything. Be numb. You're good. Yeah. Wow.
So I've always, from the very beginning as a naturopath doctor, educated people to
Right.
empower them. That's the healing.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yes,
drug
it
lord
is.
or a drug pimp daddy miss, what do you call it? Pimp woman to come back to me all the time. You know what I mean? I'm
Right.
just, okay, take it out, do it, you know?
Right. Right.
Better healer. That's what I think healing is about.
Right. And it's a great definition and very different. And I love it.
Not, I'm sorry to say, but there's a lot of psychologists. I don't want to disrespect that profession. There's a lot of goodness that comes out of that, but it seems to me that every week for years, I mean, what is that?
Right.
What is that? I don't
Yeah.
understand that myself for years. And just, I'm going to toot my own little horn right now.
Right.
I've had people come to me and say, what, in 10 minutes? Oh my God. You just told us in 10 minutes what we spent 10 years with a psychologist, therapist
Yeah.
learning. You told me in 10 minutes, you've just busted the head, you put the nail in the head. So that's,
That's how I felt like when we experienced you at the retreat. I was like, oh my God, like all the many times that I've been in therapy, like in all the times where they try to pull things out of you and and you're supposed to feel a certain way. Like all of those years of appointments, I felt like I had the relief and the release. And from that one session that we had, it was crazy. So it was, with the movement and a dance and then the grounding afterward. Oh my God. I was like, what in the
the ceremony on the land, you mean?
Yes, the ceremony on the land. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we were like dancing and then, oh my God, it was crazy. I loved it. But it was so therapeutic. It was so therapeutic. I was like, oh my God, I remember I was like bawling and crying. It's like, where is this coming from?
That's so great.
It was amazing.
Aundrea, that's great. Thank you very much.
Amazing. And I was going to say, just before, I know I have to let you go, but grounding.
Still got time. It's up to you. Still got some time.
Oh, you got a little bit more time?
Yeah, no, I've got another good 15 minutes left.
Okay. So then can you walk us through or explain the importance of grounding as well?
Yeah, no, we can't not talk about that.
Right.
Now, out of all the different therapies, of course, the inner child, the wound healing, inner wounded child is important to work, very important for the psyche.
Right.
But, a lot of us spend, including myself, I'm not excluding myself, a lot of us spend time from here up. We kind of see spirituality from our heart upwards,
right.
Through observing nature and listening to nature. And the greatest shaman is the planet Earth, spending time in nature, watching how a tree grows, not watching over time, but studying, looking to see what is a tree. Oh, the tree has its roots in the ground. And because of the roots in the ground, it is able to shoot up with its mighty force. And because of the roots in the ground, the trunk is mighty force of the body itself is strong. And because of that, the branches are huge. And because of the roots in the ground, because the roots are drawing the nourishment from the earth and drawing it up all the way up to our higher chakras, to our higher centers, to our higher levels of our being, we're able to create fruit. Our purposes in life, our fruit, our offering, our beauty, our speak, our wisdom. These are all the fruits that we have because of the roots in the ground, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with our ancestors. Because of our ancestors, our roots, we can go forward and pay it forward. The fruit of our being, the fruit of our life is from our ancestors too. We could say the same thing. It's a very romantic way of looking at it. Natural earth way of looking at it. So with the grounding, we spend a lot of time in our head and think that spirituality is, but it's not just my approach, but we're talking about me right now. My approach, the real approach, my approach.
Your approach. Yeah.
Well, I'm only ever going to go for the real approach anyway. So that's the real approach is that light of the cosmos, the light of the sun comes in through the branches as well, all the way down through the trunk, all the way down to the roots and all the way into the earth to give earth the light as well. There's a two-way stream happening. The
Right.
tree takes the nourishment out and brings it out, and the tree takes the light of the sun and brings it all the way down.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I've learned this from nature. No one told me this. I just learned this. Take time to sit out there and watch. And nature is a teacher. Nature is my counselor. Mother Earth is a being, not just a lump of oil, soil, is it?
Right.
Happening being.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the idea with the grounding is to ground the mind that is so electrical, so hippity-hoppity, yes, no, right, wrong, good, man, mean, you, day, night, poor, rich, trapped, freedom. It's kind of in the dualic force. The duality plays itself so beautifully in the mind, right?
Yes.
In order to come into the center point of that, you need to bring the energy down away from the head of this la 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 la, the monkey mind. Ground the energy into the body, because the body never lies.
Right.
The body is a really true representation of everything. You know, you eat a lot of chocolate as a teenager, you're gonna have a pimple. You know, you drink a lot of alcohol, you're gonna have a hangover. I mean, the body never lies, right?
Right.
If I'm feeling angry as shit, and you go, "Hi," I'm going, "Oh, great, I'm great." You know? You're going to see. Everyone knows and sees the truth. Children see the truth. Children, you know, I was with a, you know, children see the truth and speak it out loud.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. Unfiltered.
They're going to say, "Oh, protect me from that person. I don't like that person." You know?
Yes. Yep.
So the idea is to ground the mind, bring the awareness down with the breath. Land your awareness all the way down into the root chakra, the root center, the root of your spine, at the base of your spine. And that's kind of where you can hang. And that's where a lot of people don't want to hang there. They don't want to sit into the shit, because that's where a lot of shit is compacted, literally.
Right.
So we bring the light all the way down in there. We're not going to be full of shit. We're going to be full of light.
Right.
But because we've judged that lower part, all that sexual part, all that where we defecate from, where we urinate from, I mean, that's a sacred area, really. Let's look at the truth of the matter is, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
That's sex is born. That's where sex gives birth. You know, the two into the one down there is the power point.
That's where all the magic happens. That's
all
right.
the magic happens in birth, in liberation, in sacredness. But because we've been so stomped on as women, you know, through ages, when goddess cultures were prominent at some point of our herstory, herstory. Yeah, and you know, the culture, the cyclic rhythms were with the moon and with nature and with harvest, and the dances were happening for the harvests, the glory of the nature giving forth. We don't have that anymore. We go to the market and buy things in plastic bags. So I'm sorry to say, but it's pretty sad.
Right.
We're not connected to that larger cyclic energy of Mother Earth, of the woman energy, of the feminine empowerment of energy. And so, you know, the Christian culture started coming along that was very patriarchal and desecrated. You know, the Romans desecrated the temples. The Christians built on top of the temples of the goddess. Goddesses knew where to build the temples, on the earth lines, on the power lines, right?
Right.
They knew where to build. So, you know, so the goddess culture, the feminine empowerment got deeper and deeper, stomped down into the ashes of the earth.
Right.
It's starting to rise more now. So the whole area down here is where the power is, everybody.
Yes.
Just so you know, the power is down. That's where the switch at the basement of all the electricity of the house is. In the basement.
That's right.
So you can't negate that bottom half. That's why I bring the grounding and bringing it back to the grounding, bringing the grounding all the way, bringing that awareness and consciousness all the way down into the basement. Then we have to see where all the ghouls and goblins are, because we turn the light on, right? Then we can see what's going on. It's not possible, but we have to do it.
Yeah, we have to. You're right. It's a must. That is true.
I'm sorry to say, now this is my Australian coming out, so please forgive me, everybody. But when we go to the toilet and defecate, right, and shit, we don't just walk away. We have to wipe ourselves clean. Hello.
That's right. That's true. Right. You got to get rid of shit and clean it up.
And everybody does. And everybody does, you know. And when you do your housework, you have to focus on the dirt to clean up. It's the same with ourselves, you know. Yeah. We have to go and shine the light into the dark areas of ourselves, into the dark corridors of our past, into the dark parts of our body that might feel shameful, you know, and bring the light to that. Shine the light. Look at what's going on. And then you can sweep the dust up, put it all right. You see? Right. That's what the grounding is. The grounding is about using the earth as a power point, putting our roots, we have roots in our own body, which I won't go into it fully now, but can I mention that I have a video on my website?
You can, yes. I even check it out.
I have a video on my website. The website is earthspiritwisdom.com. Earth as in planet Earth, spirit as in Holy Spirit wisdom, earthspiritwisdom.com. And in the video, on the gallery, there's photos and then there's video. Click on the video button. And the very last video on the page is talking about how to ground your energy, and there's actually an exercise for you to do.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll make sure I put that link on the blog as well. Sure. It'll go hand in hand. Well, I totally appreciate you. I love you so much.
I think you are so beautiful. Look at you. I mean, I've never seen the pearliest white in all of my life. Nowhere. The most perfect mouth of pearls. Just beautiful.
Thank you. I'm taking it all in. I'm learning. I'm taking it all in. Thank you.
You must take the goodness in and allow the rest to leave. It's like I see us as filters. Okay. Right. We breathe in oxygen, the body releases carbon dioxide. We take in food of nourishment, the body shits out what it doesn't want. We take in the good experiences and we can let go of the rest. You know? Right. That's a holistic way of looking at things. It's not just the body. We're looking at the body, mind, and spirit now. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about, was there a question you wanted me to answer about the source of great spirit?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think you kind of tied it in. It was understanding, getting to the source of like our negative, the beliefs that don't serve us, and then how, connecting to source actually, helps that filtering.
We spoke about the only source we talked about connecting with was Mother Earth.
Okay.
There's whatever source you want to call it, whether it was God,
right,
Spirit, Creator, Maker, all that is. There's a lot of different names. Allah,
right.
Muhammad. There's a lot of different Buddha and field, but beyond that, we're talking about. I just call it God.
Right.
I don't have a religious connotation, but you might want to call it spirit. A lot of the indigenous cultures call it great spirit.
Okay.
So that is where we need to also strive toward. The tree strives to the light.
Right.
The plants strive to the. I believe we do too.
Yeah.
We do too. We may not know God, but we're always heading toward God.
Right.
The river may not know or have not have seen the ocean before. The river's going to the ocean.
That is so true. That is so true.
Oh, I'm going to that ocean. It's called the Indian Ocean. It doesn't have that. It just is a natural flow towards the greater.
Right.
Just like the indigenous cultures had a natural flow towards the greater of their own body is Mother Earth.
Right.
There's a greater field, a greater opening, a greater field of love. Not even a field, the greater love that's God or Maker, Creator, Spirit. Right. We're all wanting that. We're all returning home to that.
Right.
So it's important to connect to that as a destination point. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not outside of ourselves either. It permeates everything, but it's opening to the greater.
Right. And it's understanding and being mindful of that. It's we are not just mind, we're not just body, we are not just spirit, it's the whole. So in that whole, it's understanding that yes, we have that part of us that is searching, that is longing for source, spirit, God. Like whether we know it or not. You know, it's like we call it something else and we're like, oh no, it's not. But it is. It's there.
Right. It really is. And basically, I feel like we can now pull the dualities out of separation and union, connection. You know, a lot of the problems a lot of us feel is because we're not feeling connected.
Right. It's a huge disconnect. Yeah.
There's a disconnection. And I call that the original sin. Like, you know, the Bible might talk about original sin. That's what I think original sin is the belief that we're separate from God, or
right.
all that is. That's the original sin.
Right. I completely understand, because a lot happens when you feel disconnected. I mean, a lot goes on, you know, and
a lot doesn't go on as well.
Exactly. That's right.
So
that's right. Oh, well, I know time is up. So I thank you so much, Amalia, for speaking with us. If someone wanted to work with you or get in touch with you, what would they need to do?
They could call my business line number,
okay,
which is 1-800-393 2037. 1-800-393-2037. And I also have a website which you can write email to me, or you know, have these little videos on there if you're interested in the way I express and share my wisdom. I have plenty of little videos on there. I've got a few dance videos there too.
Watch out. I'm gonna watch them.
The website we mentioned earlier was earthspiritwisdom.com.
Okay.
And I have a book as well out in the public. It's called Spirit of the Stones.
Yes, you do.
And my name is Amalia Camateros. I think that's pretty good, right? That's what.
Yes, that is it. And we thank you so much for joining us. And that is our mindful reflections and inspirations. And thank you so much, Amalia. I love you. Thank you.
I just want to send a brief little blessings, everybody. Blessings on your heart, blessings on your mind, your soul. May you really, truly feel connected to all that really, truly matters. Blessings to you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye, Aundrea. Bye.